best at first, but he's...
No, I agree. I think he's, to be fair to him, as someone who's just started, looks incredibly composed at the crease. Himself, his strike rate can improve, but he actually, from when I've been watching, start really well. He gets to kind of 15-20 really quickly, and then maybe slows up a bit. So hopefully he can just keep this pace up and really get that score pushing up towards 300.
I haven't asked you much about Nepal cricket. They're a real inspiration, aren't they, in terms of the way they go about it, the way they feel, their energy, their dynamism, and their fans are something else too.
Yeah, no, they are amazing, especially for me being a local boy here, seeing, it's not as many today, but on the other day.
Hammered away, Barrington's favourite zone yet again, as Irie takes a bit of punishment now too. Barrington, he pummeled that leg side, 4 more.
Yeah, no, it's just amazing seeing so many fans here watching just at this local.
For Richie Barrington, and it's another bounce back to form from him. The century made against Netherlands last month was maybe one of the greats you will ever see. He joins Kyle Coetzer on a record number of 50 plus scores in the history of Scottish cricket. They have the exact same number of 50s and 100s, 21 50s, 500s apiece. He's closing in on 3,500 ODI runs. It is a 21st One Day International 50. He's simply the greatest servant that Scottish cricket's ever had.
Yeah, no, he is. And as we kind of alluded to earlier, hopefully it's not done yet, and he's got a few more years left in him. Because I know, I don't know why I'm saying this. I hope Cloudy's not listening, but what are Cloudy's numbers in terms of hundreds and 50s? Because hopefully
might end up going past everyone. Callum McLeod's record of conversion is ridiculous. I think he got 10 hundreds. Barrington, what is it that makes him so special? Is it his longevity, his athleticism, his commitment? He's really grown into the leadership role, it feels like to me as well.
No, I think for me it's a genuine just commitment to cricket in Scotland. I think he's played so many times, but still gives 100% every single time he puts on that shirt, which is incredible. Like, but he also is a batter. He just hits the ball everywhere.
Wow.
There doesn't seem to be any kind of slowdown either in terms of his productivity. He seems to be playing as well as he's kind of played throughout his career.
No, I think so. I think that's why I don't see him hanging up the boots anytime soon. I think he's playing way more freedom than I've ever seen. He's playing spin as.
Get the quick single, well run.
Yeah, as well as he did, and just the men's squad. They've got a lot to look forward to in the next few months to years. So I hope he keeps continuing his form and keeps improving, as I know he will be.
Incredible man is Richie Barrington. It's been a fantastic innings to watch this. The way in which he's kind of soaked up that early pressure, got a little bit of fortune from his very first delivery, and then really taking the spinners kind of asunder, taking them apart. Look at the single this time. Craig, we're going to keep you for one more over after this, and then we'll bid you farewell. Really appreciate your time. We've heard your impassioned plea for more fixtures and more opportunities for your women's side. We're going to wish you well in terms of qualifying for that T20 World Cup next year. I'm going to ask you one quite difficult one to answer after this ball. End of the 27th, 143 for 3. If there was one kind of message would it be if you could give them just one thing that would make such a difference, not just for Scottish women's cricket, but I suppose the other nations in and around you, the likes of Netherlands and Namibia and USA, Thailand, who've done such a good job, and then those below you, the Brazils and the other sides that are starting to come up, Italy et al.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Is it's not just us. There's Thailand and Netherlands and all the associates and below. So it's the only thing I can say is just help us. I think they need to see the style and brand and how good we are at cricket, and that they need to allow us to. to try and impress all the bigger nations, because they're seem to be throwing a lot of money at them, but not us. But equally, I think our standards are too.
Particularly, I suppose, then as part of the ICC pathway events, more opportunities in the 50 over format as well, because there's a pretty good structure, isn't there, in fairness, in the T20 World Cup qualification pathway that's once every 2 years, but more 50 over cricket too.
Yeah, absolutely. I love 50 over 50 over cricket. I think to develop and to play in cricket, it suits us really nicely at the moment. But it's just in general, it's just we just want to play cricket and try and be as good as we can be.
There's no doubt he did that so well just 2 months ago. As that one keeps a little low. Puff of dust as well, which we haven't seen actually throughout most of the series. Probably the nicest spell of weather. You're rather remarkably wearing shorts somehow next to me, Craig. Don't quite know how. You were definitely born in Dundee, I can see that much. But I want to thank you for your time, Craig. I want to wish you and all of the women involved in the national team setup. I know how hard you train, how brilliantly you played there in Pakistan. I'll hopefully be there for that global qualifier in January. You'll hopefully take one of the 4 spots that are on offer instead of the 2. And after maybe what could be a little bit of a famine of fixtures and a period without too many games, let's hope for a real feast in 2026 and onwards.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's been very enjoyable.
It's been a pleasure. It's Craig Wallace, the Scotland women's head coach. Been really fascinating to hear of their plight. It was very well advertised and well publicised. It's been great to have him on. Really enjoyed chatting to him, and I know he's going to enjoy the rest of the game here today, because Scotland are in a good position with just 28 overs bowled. They've recovered marvellously well from those early 2 wickets that went down. It was the big ones too, McMullen and Munsey gone for 5 and 0. And from 25 for 2, they've recovered to 119 for 3 when Charlie Tier fell. And now Finlay McCreath is getting very much into his work. Please do spare a thought for that Scotland women's team and get in touch if you were interested in that story. And do have a read of that BBC Sport story too. Fascinating. Gets us into Raj Banshi's next over. 7 for him. He's bowled 7 on the bounce, isn't he? Not at Raj Banshi. There's a bit of a problem for Rod Powdell. Sandeep Lamachani has been expensive. He's bowled 4 overs for 30. Arif Sheikh, 5 overs. Let's look at the bowling figures at the end of this over. Barrington's done a lot of the damage. He's played very fluently after a slow start. And there's lots of batting to come. Player of the match from a couple of days ago, Mark Watt, all the way down at number 8. Safian Sharif will be up to number 9 today, with Charlie Castle and Michael Jones.
Scored in 146 by 3 in 28.1 over.
Michael Jones, Malachy Jones, that's Mackenzie Jones even. That's a mistake from Cricinfo. We'll get on to them about that. They've stuck Michael Jones in at number 11. Attempted sweep is missed. I think Mel Farrell's been on them during her break. She's going to say, come on, guys. That's not Michael Jones is down playing for Lancashire. What's going on?
Well, not only that, batting at 11, he won't be happy.
Yeah, that would have been a remarkable thing. That's the debutant, Mackenzie Jones, who's going to come in. Looking forward to seeing him with the ball in the second innings. Might not be needed with the bat the way things are going. As Barrington continues about his work. Before we get back to the cricket, Mel, we do have to touch on what Craig Wallace was chatting to us about there. We're hoping it's going to change, and I'm sure it will change in the future, but it's remarkable to think that Scotland women have no fixtures this year.
I think it's a crying shame, to be really honest with you. As they take another single, it's something I've written quite a bit about recently. Spoke to Catherine Bryce after a game that she played at Edgbaston, where she was, of course, player of the match. Just for the second month in a row, she's been named the PCA, the Association Player of the Month. So one of the scary things, it's obviously she's in demand more than any other associate women's player in those leagues. As you see the end of the 29th, 148 for 3. She's in massive demand. Her all-round skills And I said to her, is there a danger that, you know, with these leagues coming around, talented Scotland players may end up basically trying to qualify for England or sort of walking away and then concentrating on those leagues? And she said it's obviously something that they need to keep an eye on.
Irie's going to continue. Does everything at gigantic speed. He dashes through these overs, and it's an interesting move from Peddle, isn't it? It's kind of a move to say, I want... Oh, what a catch! It's Dipender Singh Irie, caught and bowled by the Tiger. I'm not quite sure how he's got there. He's made it look easy. Stuck in the pitch a tiny bit, and Finlay McCreath is going to have to go. A fantastic athletic effort from the most fantastic of athletes.
Always in the game. We've spoken about how good their fielding is. Heavens above, how did he? That is unbelievable. Tried to turn the ball around the corner, but boy, oh boy, the Flying Tiger does it again.
Unbelievable catch. I don't think most get there. He's actually wrong-footed himself and still somehow got there. It was the classical leading edge, wasn't it? Have a look here. All of his body weight's going away from the ball and somehow flies through the air to get there quite comfortably. The most brilliant catch from that man, Dipender Singh Irie, yet again. And the new vice-captain of Nepal. Well, that's why you have him in every team that you can, because he'll impact the game, he'll change the game. McCreath had started brightly, but he's been dismissed. It's 150 for 4. One more look here at this amazing catch from Dipender Singh Irie. He just has a way to make things look easy. That was anything but easy, Mel.
We've spoken about their fielding and how they're so quick that they end up making really difficult things look easier than they are, just because of how quick they are. And on that occasion, it is incredible because his weight was all going the other way. He was right over the other side of the strip.
It's just his speed. He does things that other fielders couldn't. It's because of his speed, and in essence, he acts as a 12th fielder. I know that's a contradiction in terms, but you think of there being 11 out there, 9 actual fielders, keeper and bowler. He's kind of the 10th fielder, if that makes sense, because he covers that hole in around mid-wicket. And that was sensational, really was sensational from Dipender Singh Irie, and even more so given that he wrong-footed himself. Brilliant over. 3 runs from it, and the big wicket as it's now captain and vice captain at the crease for Scotland. 151 for 4.
Cross coming in. He missed out in the game.
$151 by 4.
All those little quirks he has, but the moment that he bats, it all comes together and is quite still.
Fascinating phase of the game now. 30 overs bowled. spoke extensively, haven't we, about the fact that there's some real science behind that, doubling your score from the 30 over marker. Over the history of ODI cricket, I can't remember the gent who's given us the data, 2.007x, the 30 over score across the recent history of ODI cricket. This is down the leg side, so if they can do that, thereabouts, they should get in and around the 300 marker, as Cami does well. 3 fielders all working together there, down towards the pavilion end of the ground, cut off right in front of the side screen. They made 296 6 days ago. It didn't prove to be quite enough, but that was mainly thanks to a fantastic Nepal fight back. Nepal are going to need some wickets here to restrict this run scoring. There's so much batting to come still for Scotland.
Well, we saw that all the way down. Safi and Sharif is actually at number 10 today with Nancy Jones. It's like coming in as the final batter. They do bat deep. And, just a reminder too, they were 25 for 2. And, the wicket from Brandon McMullen fell. It's in the 6th over. That really good partnership between Charlie Tier and Richie Berrington just changed the dynamic of that start, really, because it looked like it could be a very poor start. And Richie Berrington has got a very fortunate LBW call in the first ball he faced. He's made the most of it. He's made it count.
Been 2 really close calls. We also saw one go Tier's way. Now he's been dismissed since off Raj Banshee missing the sweep. Thought that was going to go on and thrown into the stumps. But yeah, the Berrington was probably really close, wasn't it?
Yet again, how many times has he come in with Scotland in a jam? Led the way. Reggie talking about him with Craig Wallace. Everything that makes him great, his longevity, his leadership, his batting ability. Days of bowling gone. I think about a year ago, he was thinking he felt all right and he wanted to start bowling again.
Be bowling in the future, Mel, I can assure you of that. Dances down the track. Goes Berrington. He's got some real challenges with niggles and injuries that he carries, and he just keeps playing through them. Remarkable commitment that he shows to Scottish cricket. 31 have been bowled, 155 for 4.
I actually went on I finally got to see the ground from a different angle while you were here with Craig. So I went for a little bit of a wander around. Just got much more of a sense of how wonderful it is seeing all these Nepal fans who have come in today, hundreds of them, all with their flags. There's just so many flags. Bumped into Chris Greaves. He's over there near the sight screen. Very much looking forward to coming back into the side for the T20s in Glasgow that follow this, and for those qualifiers afterwards.
If selected, of course, and squad not selected yet. Be interesting to see if Scotland can get a couple of their county players for that. The talk is Brad Curry will be available, which should make a big difference. Yeah, and not just good Nepal fans here, great Scottish support too from the home crowd. They're mainly over in that far corner in front of the drinks tent. And yeah, plenty of reaction to that Craig Wallace interview nice here from Sean McPartland. Definitely calling edged wide. Oh, great diving effort. I think it's already shaken there, isn't it? First look, did he get a fingertip on this, or did it just slow up on the outfield?
He did get a fingertip. He got a good fingertip.
Did get a fingertip. Harsh to call it a drop chance. Maybe 3 runs saved as much as anything, but it's been an all-action performance from Nepal, hasn't it? Great to see Irie finally being utilised kind of properly with the ball. He's showing his skills.
I was surprised not to see him bowling in the first match.
Swept and just over the head of Gulshan Jha, who's one of the taller members of this Nepal squad. Well thrown by the man in the crowd. Managed not to spill his drink. Well done, sir.
watching Richie Barrington sweep. There's one more point I do just want to emphasise before we probably move on about Scotland women too.
Look at the chaos that Iree causes, even when he doesn't field it. Complete chaos with the speed. Rajbanshi can't cut off that single.
Yeah, the point I want to make is that if we're trying to spread the game, trying to open up new markets, bring the associates in, game has to find a way of rewarding really good performances and the teams that move up the rankings.
Celebrating, he's got two. Iree on fire. Nepal fighting back.
Well, Matt Cross might not be happy, but he will appreciate just how good this work was from the keeper. Just the tiniest feathers. That was really well taken. And another wicket falls. Scotland, are they getting themselves into a bit of trouble now?
What an impact Dipendra Singh Iree, the tiger himself, is having on this game. Called it out, didn't we, in the first two matches? Couldn't understand why he was hardly used with the ball. Brought in today primarily because Lamachani's been struggling. And look at the two batters he's got out, both right-handers. This myth, this modern over-reliance on matchups that off-spinners can't bowl to right-handers. What did Michael Lease do when he came on the other day?
No.
Wicket immediately, didn't he? Of a right-hander. I think particularly with a bowler like Iree, who challenges batters with his trajectory and his variance in pace as much as his turn. He rarely will spin one square through the gate and bowl a right-hander. I just think it was maybe a little bit of an oversight from Rohit Patel not to utilise Dipendra Singh Iree, and he's bowling so nicely here in tandem with Lalit Rajbanshi. This game might be swinging towards Nepal. Michael Lease comes to the crease massively shy of runs, and so much now rests on the shoulders of Richie Barrington.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's been an unusually lean period for Michael Lease, one of the most aggressive batters in the associate game. Just in general, we know how electric he can be. He keeps finding himself, I feel, coming in too early.
Would have been a temptation, wouldn't there, to get Mark Watt in here?
Well, we called for that as a possibility a couple of days ago because it's a similar time that Michael Lease came to the crease, and he's someone that you feel is at his best when he's got about 10 overs remaining, but it can be so destructive. He comes in at this point in time, he's going to have to build, and he's been really short on runs, hasn't been able to buy one recently. Scotland desperately hoping that that changes today. He's playing in his home turf. This is Michael Lease's club, the Forthill club. Very, very proud Forths man.
He knows he's shy runs, doesn't he? He kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. You see his emotions. Mark Watt doesn't put pads on there. You can see him. Doug Watson, an interesting one. Given what we've seen throughout the last month or so, might have made a bit more sense to get Watt up the order. At least we'll get off the mark with a single. Bim Sharkey can't cut that off. It's horrible when you're going through that lean patch of form, isn't it, with the bat? You're almost walking to the middle with a bit of fear rather than with any positivity.
Well, you're right, he does wear his heart on his sleeve. He's one of the most passionate players I think I've ever seen play the game. He likes to be involved. Oh, it's quick, but they are quick as well.
At least he's got home here, but Pedal with a direct hit might have been interesting. Yeah, he's had a horror run of form. I'm going to read you his scores over the last 2 months, which you won't like me for, but just have to deal with that. Watches it back. 0-2-14, 1-18-4 in his last 6 ODIs. On the tour of Zimbabwe, he wasn't in the runs either. He's actually been bowling really well when he's been called upon. He's taken wickets almost every time he's been asked to have a bowl, and I certainly could understand why he was brought in so late to the attack 2 days ago.
Yes, I did ask Richie Berrington that for you in the
Good.
in the presentation. He laughed. Right. Fine, Lenny.
Not having that, Richie. He's lucky he's bat